Dragonsphere is a point-and-click adventure game. At one point, it was being given away for free by GOG. Its story is its main draw, and my talking about its story is going to spoil it, so consider this the spoiler warning. I'll be discussing it because the story's a big part of why I didn't like the game. The story. 20 years ago, the king of Gran Kalak faced a menacing, evil sorcerer, and had someone else put it into a magical bubble of procrastination. In fairness, he said the wizard was brave, not himself. Now, the king is dead. Long live the king! You start as the new king, Kalash, a prince who must defeat an evil sorcerer. His dad's bubble of procrastination, also known as the Dragonsphere, is finally popping. Your court wizard is gone, so you can't blow bubbles forever. You need to hurry to handle the now-breaking Dragonsphere, because the sorcerer should be feeling weak after getting up. You want to face him before he's able to get to full power. Your wife's worried about you.
Good luck, husband. Please be careful.
Your brother, less so.
Sorry, brother. I was just thinking, and this was a convenient place to sit.
Think nothing of it, brother.
Then perhaps I'll sit there whenever I want. After all, the throne will someday be mine, Kalash.
If I do not defeat the sorcerer, it might.
True. Or perhaps you'll end up in the dungeon one of these days. You know how it is.
Yes. Peace be with you, McMorn.
And with you be peace.
Before you head out, you can read your wife's diaries, read a love poem, ponder how mature you are now, and look at a lot of stuff. Then you can gather the magical orbs that you need to defeat the sorcerer. Along the way, you also meet Lonnie de Summers, who you can hit on because she came to save your life. After some exploration, her falling for you, passing a divine right of copyright protection, and some puzzle solving, you can finally reach the sorcerer. He reveals that you're not really the king, but a memory-wiped shapeshifter who thought he was the king due to being ensorcelled. In classic fashion, the villain then gloats, turns his back, and goes down in one click. Your character is confused. He's wondering who he is. He doesn't remember anything. As you exit the tower, you can speak with a wizard in a cave to learn more. He explains to you that you are a shapeshifter, and that he sent you to fight the sorcerer in the king's place. Your real name is Pidge Shuffle, and you're just a nice, shape-shifting guy who was torn from his village to do this. He himself ensorcelled you under the orders of the Queen Mother, because he may be brave enough to take on an epic sorcerer of tremendous power, but an old woman is too much. He also dragged Lonnie's battered body into the cave, and he tells you to save her. You can then save Lonnie, with a mixture of magic and love. You need to tell her something lovey-dovey, and you remember some poetry that the king's wife liked. It's really terrible. But in this universe, women apparently have no taste or saving throws against whatever this is. Or lives, because you just met her maybe a few hours ago, but she doesn't want to live now unless you love her. Once she's conscious, she's disappointed that you're not the king, but brightens up quickly once she assumes
That means you're not married to the queen.
No, I'm not married to anyone, as far as I know.
You're not even sure if you are already married due to the memory loss, but you're a couple now anyway. Find that odd? Too bad. You're getting married soon, so deal with it. After some more collection and solving terrible puzzles, you can finally save the king. This is easy to do because an ancient, non-sentient artifact with no ability to hear heard the man's brother call you dead meat and took that literally. It only works for people who are dead, so after it takes his taunt as fact, it becomes a death ray that you can now use. As for the traitorous Queen Mother, she threatens her remaining son and tells him that he must agree to be her puppet king, or else there will be a civil war where many will die. She has you surrounded with soldiers who are loyal to her and had his own loyal men sent away under false pretenses. His response? He's willing to agree to her terms. He'll be her puppet for the rest of his life. After all, you can't lie to a tyrant. Lying is wrong. But then, Lonnie shows up with an army, and the Queen Mother gets locked up. Problem solved. See, people were willing to usurp you, but since they're outnumbered now, they surrender, and civil war is tidily avoided because everyone maturely accepts the situation and moves on with their lives. And that's pretty much the plot. I skimmed over some stuff, but it didn't really matter, and it was pretty dumb. For example, there were bird people who suffered a long time by being trapped in the magical sphere that was meant to contain the evil sorcerer Sanwei. The old king hadn't given any of these people any thought at all, even though they were his subjects too. It was caged bird time. And these birdmen have a backstory. Supposedly, these birdmen used to be human, but were granted wings by a god long ago. Their whole purpose is to give you a belt.
What is my purpose?
You pass belt.
Oh my god.
Getting the belt is also dumb. After you set them free from the magical sphere, then they make you jump over some pillars to get your reward. You'll die if you misstep, by the way, but thankfully, you can get a guide that shows you where to step, in the sorcerer's bedroom, despite the birdmen saying that they had nothing to do with him. It's right on the wall. And somehow, this rock-hopping task proved your worth as a person, but saving them from the magical sphere and the evil sorcerer didn't. And the entire game is filled with stuff like this. Everything is clickable, detail is everywhere, but it's usually detail that doesn't feel like it matters, or the detail undermines the story, which is lame. Sometimes you're even mocked for paying too much attention, which gets old fast. And you don't even have to pay much attention to go WTF. Why would the powerful, brave wizard be afraid of an old woman? Couldn't he just ensorcel her too? How did Lonnie save your character anyway? There wasn't a shortcut up the cliff. Is this all some wizard matchmaking? If the Desert King really wants to meet you, then why does the Desert Guide ask you if you've come to die when all you want is directions? Is this a common place for suicide? Is that a problem here, or is this guide just the worst at giving directions? In the magical time stasis, how could a rat have recently died, another rat still be alive, but a person rotted away to half a skeleton? There were some neat ideas in the game and hints of lore, such as the basic concept of a persecuted shape-shifting race, and one being strong-armed into being a hero. But these things just weren't built on well. Gameplay issues. As with many point-and-click adventure games, how to use an item often doesn't make sense, and you can miss information in items too. I got annoyed enough to use a guide when I hit the copyright protection scene. I'd wondered if I'd missed something because I was pretty sure that I should have known the answer to at least one of the questions. I'd been being thorough and checking everything. At the time, I hadn't known that there was no way to find that information in-game, and that it had been given separately as a copyright protection check, and so I guessed. Meanwhile, other things you could puzzle out, but the answers seemed lame, such as whittling down a glowing magical gift with a sword to make a cruddy bird whistle, and you had to do this to call over a sentient birdman that could already speak your language, who could presumably understand a shouted hello just as well as a homemade whistle.
Who are you who calls the shack?
And it's trapped in a magical sphere with you, so it's not like it'd be far away anyway. For its time, the graphics were good, and they hold up okay in a retro sort of way. But the font is annoyingly pixelated, and reading information is a big part of the game. As for the music, it was often annoying to me, and I sometimes muted it. I had been curious about how the story would go, and so I did finish the game. But as I played, there just wasn't a payoff. I just became more disappointed.